Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and oh boy, I just watched the pilot episodes, if you will, the two-parter of Marvel's Inhumans, a show that I'm not gonna lie, I've been quietly excited for quite some time. I love it when Marvel brings a new show to television, and I really was hoping that this was going to be good. I was wrong. Now, it's not horrible in terms of worst stuff ever. Don't ever watch it, but it's how do I put this? Mediocre. It's mediocre, and I will talk about that from a multitude of angles. So this particular franchise, though, has a bit of a sordid past. If you guys remember back, I want to say it was around like May 2014. That was when Kevin Feige held a big event for Phase 3, and we learned that they were going to be doing an Inhumans movie set for 2019. This got a lot of people out there really excited because on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. during Season 2, which was happening at the same time, they were very much leaning towards the Inhumans. Not even very much leaning towards, they were showing a bunch of them. They were establishing that entire timeline that was going to then bring Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the television side of the MCU into the full-blown MCU. At least back then, things were relatively hopeful that they would still be, running parallel to one another. Whereas now, oh God, who knows, right? Who knows at this point what's going on? So there's also, right around that same time, there was a bit of trouble between Kevin Feige and Ike Perlmutter. At the time, Ike Perlmutter was Kevin Feige's boss, and Ike Perlmutter is a notorious spendthrift, a cheap-ass mofo, and that was one of the big things that was, well, basically forced Kevin Feige to take a stand. They got into a big tiff over the budget of Captain America Civil War, more importantly, Robert Downey Jr.'s budget, or his fee, and when, Kevin Feige had enough, he went to Bob Iger and told Bob Iger, it's, either back me or I walk, essentially. Iger, realizing that Feige has made him billions of dollars, backed Feige and told Perlmutter, basically, Feige reports to me. Feige gets the movies, you get the television side of things, and then somehow, through the power of reverse osmosis, and I don't quite know how this played out, and there might be an article out there, I've just never seen it, Perlmutter got Inhumans. Perlmutter made Inhumans the TV show happen. And as I want to say, out of pure spite, rushed it and gave us what we have now. Now, they treated it like it's a big show. I mean, they shot the first 2 episodes in IMAX. I mean, full-on 70mm IMAX cameras. I don't know why it wasn't needed. The first shot, though, of the show, you could see the IMAX. They had like rain droplets falling. There's a lot of really good slow-mo. It looked good. The opening scene of the movie, I keep saying this movie because it's 2 hours. It felt like a movie. The opening scene of the show, in terms of some visual aspects, would have actually been okay. Would have looked like you could have seen it in IMAX and it would have been like, oh, I got my money's worth out of this. Or this is definitely going to be a taste of things to come. But no, the acting in the opening scene where the one girl is running, being chased by somebody, or by a 3-man squad, and here comes Triton, this green dude. He's like, I'm Triton. I'm an Inhuman. I can save you. And then she gets killed and then he gets shot. And the acting was like super wooden, just not good. And from that opening scene, I'm like, oh no, we're in for it now. And then of course, after that, it goes up to the moon. It goes to Attilan. We meet Black Bolt and Medusa. They humping. But of course, her hair covers up all the goodie bits on both of them. I'm not even gay, but man, Anson Mount is an attractive man. So is Serinda Swan, as Bart being female. And then that's when we first get introduced to them and realize Black Bolt can't speak and she interprets his thoughts. And then we meet Maximus and we meet Crystal and we meet Gorgon and we meet Karnak. And we get to know these characters a little bit as they're trying to bring about 2 new Inhumans who are going to be getting the ceremony. I forget the name right now. And one girl gets like a butterfly wings and like, oh, it's a flyer, man. I freaking love a flyer. And then the other dude's like, I don't feel any different until Maximus touches him. And then he he basically can tell Maximus the future. Maximus is going to be up against the wall, covered in snakes, right? And my thought right there was, oh, Medusa and her hair, right? Because her hair can do the whole snake thing. Okay, plot device moving forward. And of course, Maximus is not happy with how Black Bolt runs things. Not that he's necessarily against Black Bolt, but he feels that Black Bolt is hiding the Inhumans away and trying to grow their population by taking them off of Earth. That might have tied into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3 or Season 4. I will fully admit I haven't seen past episode 5 of season 3 and none of season 4, so I don't know if they tied in at all, but visually speaking, the same drawing that Coulson was drawing in season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think it was a Kree drawing. At that time, it was a big thing on the show. We see that imagery all over Attilan, so it makes me believe that whatever built this city was of Kree origins. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but that's what I took from that. And of course, Maximus is jealous. He's just jealous that he's just upset. I don't know, jealous isn't the right word. He's just upset that they're not moving forward, and everything else. He wants them to go to Earth and conquer Earth and have a rightful heir, a rightful home. But we find out he's also human. He is not, he's not an Inhuman. His brother is the king, so he doesn't have to go to the mines, which is an odd plot device because they never fully explain why people are in the mines. They don't explain any of that. They have a caste system where basically is if you have powers, if you are an Inhuman, you get to live above ground and like do Inhuman-y stuff. They don't really say what that is at all. But if you are human and you don't have powers, you get to just, go work the mines. Again, never explaining why. There might be a reason why in the comics. The show does not tell you any of that, which I thought was kind of odd. You're trying to, you know that the people love Maximus and he has the ear of the people, and because he's one of them and he talks like one of them, and they respond to that. But we're never really given a reason why they care about him. At one point, one guy calls out Maximus and he's like, your brother's the king, so you're fine. And he's like, yeah, no, I know. He's like, I know, but I believe we should be down on Earth and not up here. And so they kind of look at him as a relatable figure, which is one of the things that makes his eventual coup, kind of so easy. I think it happens so fast and people don't really question it because they already love him. So why would they question it, And as a result, basically Maximus, because of that vision that the boy had on him, and when it comes true, Medusa gets all upset because Maximus is like, we could be together. You could be so happy. You basically left me for my brother, pulling his Ramsay Bolton attitude, which I will say he is good in that role as both Ramsay Bolton and Maximus. He brings a certain je ne sais quoi in terms of just like that kind of intensity that can go psycho at any moment in time, but he's keeping it under check. So I would say he's probably like the best actor on the show, whereas Anson Mount does, I think he does really good facial expressions, and of course him not talking actually works out pretty well. So you got him kind of engaging in this coup. Gorgon goes down to Hawaii in order to find out what happened to Triton. He gets stuck there when Karnak, who has the ability to kind of like see all the outcomes of everything, dodges his own execution. He tries to get Crystal out of there. Crystal is Medusa's younger sister, and Lockjaw. Lockjaw's the big dog that can teleport, and Crystal then tells Lockjaw to send Karnak down to Earth, also sends Medusa down to Earth after they shave her hair off, because that's kind of, that's the whole thing. She can, that's taking away her power. And it's a scene, I'm not gonna lie, when Maximus shaves off Medusa's hair, like it kind of like harkened back to Maleficent when her wings get cut off, right? Like some people looked at that as a scene that might be something that would be like, you might see like it kind of akin to sexual assault. And that's kind of what it felt like her abilities were being like taken from her in the most like inhuman way, right? Pun intended. And so that was one of the things I thought was interesting was how they handled that scene. I actually liked that scene quite a bit because she was really pissed off. And plus that wig was horrible. So it was good to see it go. But she was, it was a good, powerful scene, her losing her power and then immediately being sent down to Earth, stuck in a crater on Hawaii, and then not knowing where anything else is. And then Lockjaw comes back up, gets Black Bolt, drops him back down, and as he comes back to get Crystal, some other lady with powers basically knocks out Lockjaw. They grab Crystal, throw her in a room, and now Maximus is essentially in charge. right? And once they get down to Earth, Gorgon tries to still track down Triton. So this is where it gets stupid. There's a lot of stupid maneuvering in this show. That's one of my biggest complaints is like the acting is wooden, but some of the decisions are very, very, very dumb and just make very little sense overall. So you've got Gorgon, who's got his, hoofs and everything else like this. And then he tries to go into the water and he can't swim. And then a couple Hawaiian dudes show up and they rescue him. And they're like, "Oh, hey, you're one of those Inhumans I read about, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And he's like, "I got to get back home." I'm like, "Oh, where's home?" And he's like, "Moon." Just says it. And they're like, and the guy next to him's like, "Oh, cool." And I was kind of laughing at that because you got to keep in mind too that, it's been 9 years since Iron Man came on the scene. It's been a long time since the incident in New York City, everything with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. going public and everything else. People are going to know about this kind of stuff. So it's cool that it wasn't like that, "Oh my God, we have to contain ourselves." People know and they're just like, "Oh, okay." Like they've gotten used to it at this point. And I thought that was a nice way, a nice differing pace. It's like, "Oh yeah, no, we're good. We got you, dog. We got you." And of course they invite him to hang out with them. Karnak, gets to Earth. And this is where, again, stupidity. He can see any and all possible scenarios. So he's trying to climb down this mountainside, like the side of a volcano, basically, to get down. And he falls. And I'm like, "Oh, he falls." I'm like, "Oh, is he just going to realize that he fell? And then he's just going to maneuver his way down?" And no, he legitimately fell. So he didn't see that coming. And as a result, he hit his head. So he's having trouble using his inner compass to figure things out. I just thought that was he should have fallen, he should have been hit in the head before getting transported out by Lockjaw. That would have already kind of set everything off. That would have been a better way of telling that scene, conveying that he is wounded and his powers aren't working as intended. That would have been something that was better. Additionally, you've got Medusa who gets on, basically just walks onto a tour bus, and then goes down and she's contacting Black Bolt, trying to talk to him, say, "I'm coming for you. I'm also here." Black Bolt is, on the run from, he lands in the middle of the Lockjaw drops him off in the middle of the road. There's an accident. A taxi cab goes around him and tags a Mercedes. And then of course he takes off running. He goes over, steals some new clothes. Cops show up. And this is what I thought was really, really, really funny. Really, really, really funny because the cops show up. One cop shows up, he knocks him down, he handcuffs him. That cop's like, doesn't even try to fight back. More cops show up and elderly, fat, we're talking top tier middle age, fat white cops with batons start beating the crap out of Black Bolt. They're just they are Rodney Kinging this guy. And then, of course, another cop runs up and tases him in the back, and he goes, "Ugh," just a grunt. And the grunt, opens his mouth and fires off a shot that just takes over this car. The only Black Bolt moment in the episode, other than a flashback, when you find out that Black Bolt basically eviscerated his parents accidentally. And that's one thing Maximus uses to kind of guilt him into submission in that moment before Lockjaw takes him out. And that's one of the cool things about Maximus. He's able to manipulate Black Bolt by using that. And you can tell there's guilt there with Black Bolt. He clearly values life, and because he could kill everybody. He wouldn't give a shit. He was like, yeah, I'll take you out, man. That's all good. So that was interesting. I liked the dynamic there, and you could kind of see Black Bolt cares, and he doesn't want to kill anyone. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. That's why, he's trying to bring the Inhumans up to Attilan in order to protect them. Whereas Maximus, we find out, was the one who was sending a hit squad down to Earth to take them out. And why they all were on Hawaii for some reason, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out as things go on. And of course, when Black Bolt gets to the police station, he picks his own lock, and the cops freak out, and then he cooperates, and all of a sudden they're cool. They're cool. And then Medusa ends up getting into a fight with Aron, who is Maximus's right-hand man. She kicks her ass, stabs her to death, supposedly, steals her gun, and then takes off. And then Aran wakes up, and she's pulls out the knife, is able to heal herself, calls Maximus, and is like, "I need backup." And that's kind of where the episode ends. And it was 90 minutes, man. I was like, nah, it's 81 minutes. But it felt long. I didn't know this was a two-parter. I thought this was just one episode, and then I'm watching this should be almost being over. And then it went on for too long. My biggest complaint with it though is just for one, this is in 2 episodes they shot in IMAX cameras. It's a waste of IMAX camera, absolutely a waste. Putting it in IMAX theaters, IMAX bumped it in order to put Inhumans there, and Inhumans just tanked because nobody wanted to go see it. It is already confirmed for Chapter 2 for IMAX for September of 2019. Like they've already confirmed, like that weekend, it's going to be it. So there's that, and then you've got like the sets. Like the way that it was shot looks like it's a television show. You know, you look at something like Daredevil or Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and those are television shows, but they feel like they're shot for cable TV. They're single camera. The way that they're shot looks more cinematic. This feels like it's like not lower budget, but you can definitely see that there were limitations with the budget, and therefore they kind of, not so much skimped on sets, but it was like you could feel this was for TV, and not in a good way. To be honest with you, it's not in a good way at all. Is it like, does it feel that way? There's no like real intensity outside of a couple scenes. There's no real emotion outside of a couple scenes. Like I said, the acting and the dialogue are just not very good. Scott Buck, who is the executive producer, wrote the first 2 episodes, and oh my god, like he's also the showrunner on this season, which is only 8 episodes, so we only have 6 more left to go. He's also the showrunner of the first season of Iron Fist, and that thing got completely panned. And I do believe he also was heavily involved with the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which once he left, the show got vastly better. So my hopes for season 2 of Iron Fist are vastly raised because he's not involved. He also worked on Dexter the last couple seasons, like post Rita's death. So it's like, you're right. So this guy clearly does not have a talent to work in this particular format, yet keeps getting work. And honestly, everything that's gone wrong with Inhumans thus far is squarely at his feet. And that was because also Ike Perlmutter, as I mentioned in the beginning, has a lot to do with this. Perlmutter is definitely part of the problem as well. He brought in Scott Buck, and I this is a weird theory, but I feel like the Inhumans is destined to fail. There's rumors right now that it's already canceled because of the poor reception leading into the IMAX release, as well as the fact they spent like $90 million on the season, and it's just basically a waste. And again, my theory there is Perlmutter wanted this. Perlmutter absolutely positively wanted this to crash and burn to hurt Feige. Now, some people out there have said there's no way that this would happen. There's no way he would waste all of this money just to screw over Kevin Feige. He's a cheap ass, absolutely. But cheap asses and frugal people will spend money when they need to, and they'll spend money to hurt someone else. And you know why? Because they've saved it everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is what's going to happen. But that being said, it held my interest enough. Especially, there's another character there, a data analyst or a drone driver for a moon rover that was in California. Gorgon destroyed it, but they saw his hoof, and I totally forgot to mention that. So she's now in Hawaii to track down the 4 disturbances and energy that happened on the island of Oahu. So that's going to be another plot device going forward for the next couple episodes. The one human who helps the Inhumans fight back against Maximus because she believes when no one else would. That sort of thing. What this show needs, essentially, is it needs better writing. It needs to, this next episode, absolutely establish what's going to happen for the rest of the season. You absolutely, positively need cameo appearances from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You need to tie that in directly with that, especially like at the end of the season. And what they need to do is probably bring over members from the Inhumans over to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for this next season. Because here's the thing, and here's why I think this is going to happen anyway. We already know that season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. apparently is supposed to go to space. Well, where are the Inhumans from? They're from the moon. The moon is in space. So it does seem that that's going to be a part of it. But the thing is, look, the thing I did like Black Bolt. I liked Medusa. I liked the characters. The acting needs to get a little bit better, but I do feel a lot of that is the writing and the directing. Also, Lockjaw is adorable. Just adorable. And I want more of Lockjaw. I also like Maximus. I think he's the best actor on the show. And I think he's gotten the best kind of character arc for the first couple episodes. That being said, they need to really focus on the rest of the cast to get us to give a crap about them. So with any luck, The next 6 episodes will definitely give us a good story, one that has a proper conclusion. And if it is the complete series and it's the end of the Inhumans, give us a complete story. Then that way people won't be mad. If it ends on a damn cliffhanger because they were hoping for a season 2 renewal because they got way ahead of themselves in terms of what to expect, they're stupid. They're stupid. I mean, we already heard that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to be canceled, but Disney directly intervened and made sure that it stayed on the air. You know, like Agent Carter, the Inhumans won't be as lucky. And that's a problem because ABC wants a companion series to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the 2 that they've done so far haven't boded very well. And I will say Agent Carter was fantastic. I really, really loved both seasons. I would have loved to have seen that continue, but instead we got this. And none of us are any better for it.